Worldly happiness causes worldly anxiety. The more people distance themselves from a natural, simple life and embrace luxury, the more they suffer from anxiety, and the farther they go from God, the less comfort and rest they can find in anything they do. This is why people are so restless. They even orbit restlessly around the moon, like the drive belt of an engine, turning uselessly around the crazy wheel because the entire planet cannot contain their restlessness. The result of worldly pleasures and self-indulgence is worldly anxiety. This anxiety accompanies the superficial education people receive today, and every day it drives hundreds of people, including young children, to psychoanalysis and psychiatrists. Anxiety is why new psychiatric hospitals are being built and where psychiatrists are trained. However, many of them do not even believe in God or accept the existence of the soul. How can these people help heal human souls when they themselves are full of anxiety? How can man feel truly consoled if he does not believe in God and in the true and eternal life after death? When we grasp the deeper meaning of the true life, anxiety falls away, and divine consolation comes and we are healed. If someone went to psychiatric hospitals and read the words of Abba Isaac to the patients, those among them who believed in God would get well, because they would understand the very essence of human life. People try to find peace either with tranquilizers or with the theories of yoga. However, they do not seek the true tranquility that fills one with a divine consolation that comes after one has been humbled. Imagine how all the tourists who come from other countries to Greece must suffer as they walk the dusty and noisy streets in the hot summer sun. What great troubles they must carry within, how stressed they must be if they consider all this heat and noise comfort. It's as if each wants to run away from his own self, that they consider all this unrest to be rest. When we see a person who has everything but is still worried, anxious, and sad, it is because God is missing from his life. In the end, wealth also leads to suffering, since human beings can never be satisfied by material goods. Theirs is a double affliction. I know wealthy people who, although they have everything their hearts desire, including no children to take care of, are still miserable. They find sleep boring, walking bores them, everything is a cause of discomfort. Fine, I said to a rich man once, since you have some free time, do something spiritual. Read one of the hours of prayer. Read a passage from the Gospel. I cannot, he said. Then I told him, try doing something good. Go to a hospital to visit the sick. Why should I go all the way there? He replied. What will come out of it? Go help some poor person in your neighborhood. No, he said. That does not please me either. Can you believe that this person is miserable despite the fact that he has everything? Free time, numerous houses, and so on. Do you know how many people are like him? And they suffer so much that at some point they lose their minds. What a dreadful thing. And if they happen to be independently wealthy and do not have to work, then they are even more miserable. If they at least had a job, things would be better.